Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Courage isn't having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have strength. In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. Religion is excellent stuff for keeping common people quiet. Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich. Show me a family of readers, and I will show you the people who move the world. History is a set of lies agreed upon. Imagination governs the world. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. Nothing is more difficult, and therefore more precious, than to be able to decide. History is written by the winners. Take time to deliberate, but when the time for action comes, stop thinking and go in. Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of fools. A leader is a dealer in hope. If I had to choose a religion, the sun as the universal giver of life would be my God. Alexander, Caesar, Charlemagne, and I have founded empires. But on what did we rest the creations of our genius? Upon force. Jesus Christ founded his empire upon love, and at this hour millions of men would die for him. The only victories which leave no regret are those which are gained over ignorance. A woman laughing is a woman conquered. Conquests will come and go, but Delcamber's work will endure. You don't reason with intellectuals, you shoot them. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. Men are moved by two levers only: fear and self-interest. There are but two powers in the world, the sword and the mind. In the long run, the sword is always beaten by the mind. China is a sleeping giant. Let him sleep, for if he wakes, he will shake the world. The world suffers a lot, not because the violence of bad people, but because of the silence of the good people. He who fears being conquered is sure of defeat. The reason most people fail instead of succeed is they trade what they want most for what they want at the moment. 10 people who speak make more noise than 10,000 who are silent. It is the cause, not the death, that makes the martyr. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Death is nothing, but to live defeated and inglorious is to die daily. Men are more easily governed through their vices than through their virtues. When a government is dependent upon bankers for money, they and not the leaders of the government control the situation, since the hand that gives is above the hand that takes. Money has no motherland. Financiers are without patriotism, and without decency. Their sole object is gain. As for me, to love you alone, to make you happy, to do nothing which would contradict your wishes, this is my destiny and the meaning of my life. Circumstances. What are circumstances? I make circumstances. Ability is of little account without opportunity. Throw off your worries when you throw off your clothes at night. 4 hostile newspapers are more to be feared than 1,000 bayonets. Music is what tells us that the human race is greater than we realize. Never tell your enemy he is doing the wrong thing. Victory belongs to the most persevering. History is the version of past events that people have decided to agree upon. The hand that gives is among the hand that takes. Money has no fatherland. Financiers are without patriotism, and without decency. Their sole object is gain. The surest way to remain poor is to be honest. Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich. Great men are meteors designed to burn so that earth may be lighted. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. A true man hates no one. To understand the man, you have to know what was happening in the world when he was 20. The best cure for the body is a quiet mind. The greatest danger occurs at the moment of victory. Courage is like love. It must have hope for nourishment. If we could read the past histories of all our enemies, we would disregard all hostility for them. In our time, no one has the conception of what is great. It is up to me to show them. The only victory over love is flight. The extent of your consciousness is limited only by your ability to love and to embrace with your love the space around you and all it contains. It's the unconquerable soul of man, and not the nature of the weapon he uses, that ensures victory. A throne is only a bench covered with velvet. Great ambition is the passion of a great character. Those endowed with it may perform very good or bad acts. All depends on the principles which direct them. I have seen only you. I have admired only you. I desire only you. Put your iron hand in a velvet glove. It requires more courage to suffer than to die. I saw the crown of France laying on the ground, so I picked it up with my sword. We must laugh at man to avoid crying for him. I am surrounded by priests who repeat incessantly that their kingdom is not of this world, and yet they lay hands on everything they can get. The battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemy's. If you wish to be a success in the world, promise everything, deliver nothing. There is a joy in danger. I start out by believing the worst. All great events hang by a single thread. The clever man takes advantage of everything, neglects nothing that may give him some added opportunity. The less clever man, by neglecting one thing, sometimes misses everything. Success is the most convincing talker in the world. Impossible is the word found only in a fool's dictionary. Wise people create opportunities for themselves and make everything possible. A revolution is an idea, taken up by bayonets. An army marches on its stomach. Give me enough medals, and I'll win you any war. I know he's a good general, but is he lucky? Courage cannot be counterfeited. It is one virtue that escapes hypocrisy. A good sketch is better than a long speech. Let France have good mothers, and she will have good sons. War is the business of barbarians. Nothing is lost as long as courage remains. To write history, one must be more than a man, since the author who holds the pen of this great justiciary must be free from all preoccupation of interest or vanity. The herd seeks out the great, not for their sake, but for their influence, and the great welcome them out of vanity or need. When you have an enemy in your power, deprive him of the means of ever injuring you. What is the government? Nothing, unless supported by opinion. There are so many laws that no one is safe from hanging. One must learn to forgive and not to hold a hostile, bitter attitude of mind, which offends those about us and prevents us from enjoying ourselves. One must recognize human shortcomings and adjust himself to them, rather than to be constantly finding fault with them. I make my battle plans from the spirit of my sleeping soldiers. If the art of war were nothing but the art of avoiding risks, glory would become the prey of mediocre minds. I have made all the calculations. Fate will do the rest. Ordinarily, men exercise their memory much more than their judgment. England is a nation of shopkeepers. One must indeed be ignorant of the methods of genius to suppose that it allows itself to be cramped by forms. Forms are for mediocrity, and it is fortunate that mediocrity can act only according to routine. Ability takes its flight unhindered. The love of glory is like the bridge that Satan built across chaos to pass from hell to paradise. Glory links the past with the future across a bottomless abyss. Nothing to my son, except my name. Women are nothing but machines for producing children. From triumph to downfall, there is but one step. I have noted that, in the most momentous occasions, mere nothings have always decided the outcome of the greatest events. Power is my mistress. I have worked too hard at her conquest to allow anyone to take her away from me. We are made weak both by idleness and distrust of ourselves. Unfortunate, indeed, is he who suffers from both. If he is a mere individual, he becomes nothing. If he is a king, he is lost. The laws of circumstance are abolished by new circumstances. All great events hang by a hair. The man of ability takes advantage of everything and neglects nothing that can give him a chance of success, whilst the less able man sometimes loses everything by neglecting a single one of those chances. Never depend on the multitude, full of instability and whims. Always take precautions against it. He who cannot look over a battlefield with a dry eye causes the death of many men uselessly. As a rule, it is circumstances that make men. It is only by prudence, wisdom, and dexterity that great ends are attained and obstacles overcome. Without these qualities, nothing succeeds. Leave the ideas of your time, and they will accompany and support you. Fall behind them, and they drag you along with them. Oppose them, and they will overwhelm you. Variety made the revolution. Liberty was just a pretext. We frustrate many designs against us by pretending not to see them.